Hello, it's a pleasure to meet everyone. We are Laura, Jasmine, Jayne and Natalie, and we're here to discuss a couple of issues that you're facing here at Camp Crystal Lake, as well as how to resolve them. So this is just a quick summary about what we're going to cover today. I'm going to outline what's on at the moment and the problems that have arisen. And then I'm going to pass you to my colleagues who will each outline a theory and how it relates to this case, as well as a couple of possible solutions. The main reason that we're here is recently there has been an increase in complaints about teams, as well as a lack of cooperation between members. There have also been some rumours about some racially insensitive remarks about non-Western team members and a general lack of respect towards their backgrounds. This has accumulated towards the teams feeling unable to cooperate, as well as increased tensions. Additionally, Layla has been facing a large amount of hostility regarding her ethnicity, and suggestions that she did not earn or stole her job. All of this can be condensed into three main issues, the first of which is racism and hostility. This means that team members are not all treated equally, and the general environment for working is uninclusive. Layla's non-Western background is being used by team members as a reason for this conflict. Secondly, there is a large amount of inter-team conflict regarding differing backgrounds, which is causing a lack of regard for others' opinions. Layla's non-Western background is also being used for this, and she is facing discrimination. Finally, there is a fundamental issue regarding diversity. The degree to which there is a degree of surface diversity, however, the apparent gain of this does not mean that there is inclusion. This is viewed when team members regard Layla as too different to get along with.
The first theory being discussed is social dominance theory. Social dominance theory is a theory based on intergroup relations that focuses on why the maintenance and stability of social hierarchies exist. In continuation, the theory explores group-based inequalities through three behaviors: institutional discrimination, aggravated individual discrimination, and behavioral discrimination. Also, this theory focuses on why prejudice and discrimination are maintained, for example, cultural ideologies and policies. Social dominance theory relates to the case issue, as Layla, a camp counselor who recently immigrated from a non-Western country, is seen as below than her other coworkers. This shows that social dominance is present, as Layla is not being treated as an equal, meaning inclusivity and equality do not exist, and social hierarchy is present. Discrimination and racism are caused by many factors involving social beliefs and values and lack of knowledge. Therefore, my first recommendation is to implement online training. For instance, discrimination prevention training, human rights training, tolerance and respect for diversity at work training, and inclusivity training. With this, another recommendation to add is group-based activities to strengthen group relations and learn about each other. Both of these recommendations will allow employees to learn about coworkers' backgrounds, gain knowledge, and understand how racism and discrimination can affect one another. The third recommendation is for the leader, Pamela, head of the so-called social hierarchy, can explain the consequences of racism to her followers, which are the camp counselors.
The second theory that we will be discussing is climate for inclusion. Essentially, climate for inclusion is about eliminating bias by ensuring that identity is unrelated to the access of resources and opportunities within a given work environment. Specifically, there's three distinct categories within climate for inclusion. The first is equitable employment practices, which is the distribution of resources and opportunities related to one's identity group membership. The second is integration of differences, which refers to the collective norms and expectations regarding the openness in which employees can express core aspects of themselves and their identity without feeling unwanted consequences. Finally, the third facet is inclusion in decision-making, which is that companies should be actively seeking and integrating the perspectives of diverse employees, even if it goes against the status quo. The way these issues relate to the case is that climate for inclusion is about making sure identity group statuses are unrelated to accesses to resources and opportunities. But that's not what's happening here. In this case, Layla's group status of being a non-Western identity is affecting her ability to get along with her coworkers. It also leads to issues with integration of differences. Specifically, Layla faces a lack of comfortability with being herself because all of her coworkers are committing racially insensitive jokes against her. The organization has also not been committing resources to solving these conflicts, which is why an outside party had to be brought in. Finally, there's a lack of appreciation and respect for people's differences, with, in this case, is the camp staff members disrespecting Layla's differences, specifically her non-Western identity. For some recommendations that could deal with some of these arising issues, the first would be the implementation of the Leadership Shadow Program as developed by Satib and Khan. The Leadership Shadow Program focuses on unconscious bias through active self-reflection on workers' actions to prevent or hinder diversity and inclusion. The activities in this program are done once every few weeks and are between a couple hours long. The next option would be to complete the Intercultural Development Inventory and Employee Engagement Survey, which are both measures of inclusivity. The first measure measures the degree to which cultural differences and commonalities are effectively accepted and supported within a given environment, while the Employee Engagement Survey measures the perceptions and attitudes of workers regarding diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Once people can see how inclusive or not they are and the areas for which they can improve, a self-reflection will be done as to improve these areas. These surveys and self-reflection should be done every few weeks to ensure that growth is occurring within those who are a part of the majority group. Self-reflection should also include a written aspect as to make sure that this component is included and fully explained. Finally, team building activities to increase belongingness and emphasize uniqueness are also important for inclusivity. These activities would require employees to get together and work together while requiring various types of thinking. This would allow for them, in working together, to experience belongingness while also emphasizing uniqueness due to the different types of thinking, which would help to increase inclusivity.
The last theory we will be discussing is identity fusion. This theory focuses on the fusion of the borders between the personal and social self. Identity fusion occurs when one feels oneness with a group. In doing so, aspects of both the personal and social self can feel connected. Individuals view themselves as not only through their group membership, such as being a member of this group is a part of who I am, but they also recognize through the personal self that I am an important part of the group. Next is the encouragement of individuals to use aspects of their personal self in group behavior. Identity synergy principle claims that group behavior has been primarily believed to be fueled by the social self. However, this principle suggests that pro-group behaviors are amplified when the personal self is fused with their social self. These increased feelings of self-expansion promotes not only group efficacy beliefs, but pro-group behaviors. Lastly, this theory encourages the recognition of other group members as not only a member of the group, but as unique individuals. This theory relates to the case as team members feel like they can't get along with Layla due to their different backgrounds and values. They also believe Layla was only hired for diversity reasons. They don't recognize the benefit of uniqueness in one another. In terms of recommendations, we'll firstly use the verbal identity fusion scale. Each statement will be read aloud to the team members who will be asked to raise their hand if they resonate with the statement. This will be followed by a discussion. We will display the scale on the next slide. Second, the relationship ties principle claims that uniqueness-based attraction builds strong relational ties. The team members feel like they can't get along due to their differences. So each team member will be asked to complete the Myers-Briggs personality test and share their results with each other. Conflict resulting from differences will always exist, but can be more easily resolved when we learn to be more open-minded and tolerant to others. Simply knowing that another's actions may be the result of that individual's personality rather than an intent to provoke may prevent conflict. And here's the verbal scale of identity fusion that we read to the team members.
So that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for listening. We hope that any ideas, reasonings, and solutions that we have suggested are beneficial to you. If you have any questions or queries, please don't hesitate to ask them now.